Hello, Trade Pro Labs. Hello, TPL community. Please give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Show me that you care. Show me if you're on this live stream as well, just to see that everything's working properly. And if you guys want to know more, please write me in the comments. Isabella, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Hi. Everybody else who's on the chats, please share this video, like, share, subscribe, follow us. Obviously, we're going to bring you these live streams regularly on a day-to-day basis. If you've got more videos to pop off, let me know. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what this is all about. So today we're going to go into speaking a little bit more about some of the secrets that's happening in the digital world. Something's happening in cryptocurrency, what's popping off, exactly where things are moving right now, what are the market sentiments. I don't know if you guys know this, but obviously the world is moving quite rapidly right now. One of the big secrets that we were speaking about is about the whole ledger thing that's been happening. And the other part is obviously Twitter. Twitter is using digitalized currencies right now, where you can actually tip people money using Twitter app. Now, if you think about it, that means we're not going to need the monetary system. It's going to be peer to peer. We're not going to need a bank to send or receive funds. This is the next evolution of finance. Obviously, there's a lot of determination, there's a lot of secrets, there's a lot of different things that people do not want you guys to know. But with Trade Collabs, we try to unveil all of this information. We want to give you all of this information free of charge. So let me get right into it. Obviously, this is going to be a very short stream. I'm going to just speak to you guys really quickly about different scenarios, what's happening in the markets, um, and just give you an overview update of what's popping right now. Let's look at it. Firstly, travel vlogs. One of our loyal followers. Thank you. Hi to you as well. So let's get right into it. So right now, firstly, obviously, guys, if you don't know who we are, jump on tradeprolabs.com, sign up, register, go on here. Obviously, you'll see there's a link in the description as well. You always can follow us, like, share, subscribe, or book a call with one of our team. And this is just our front end of our website. We got some big stuff coming, something very futuristic. And obviously, it's moving with technology. So it's something that's going to revolutionize the tech industry as we know it. So let's get right into it, guys. So currently, I'm going to go to CoinMarketCap. I'm going to explain to you exactly what's popping off. Now, Bitcoin currently popping off at $27,690, nearly 28K. Ethereum, $1,893. Tether fixed to the $1, which is great to see it pegged again. And then BNB, $312. USDC, just one pip below, as you can see, it's fraction off. And then Ripple is at 0.49, 49 cents per Bitcoin, per Ripple. Cardano, we're sitting at 0.37. Doge, we're sitting at 0.07. Polygon Matic, 0.9155. Solana, $20.57. Tron is 76. LTC is $91. Polkadot is $4.75. BUSD, which is obviously stablecoin, is similar to USDC. It's just a fraction off. And then we got obviously Shiba Inu. We're looking at 0.00008767. Avalanche is sitting at 14 cents 49. And looking for some of the tokens that we want to look at. There we go, Pepe. So Pepe is sitting at 0.00000 or 501443. Now I want to go into Pepe, guys, and I want to show you exactly what's happening to Pepe. I had this conversation earlier on today, and I thought it was interesting that if you look at Pepe, right, let's look at it on trade. Okay, get the technical analysis out. Right, let's look at it. Let's spread this out. So we're on a daily chart. So Pepe right now obviously started off weight when it pumped all the way up, all the way down, and now we're looking at it here. Now it's still, if you invested early on, you're still in a profit. So it's not that bad, right? And if I'm looking at it from a technical perspective, I'd like to put maybe 4 hour chart. So on a technical perspective, as you can see the rise, and now we're looking at it pretty much finding its range for the past few hours. As you can see, it's ranging between these two prices. I want to put in an indicator, let's say RSI, which is my relative strength index. Okay, and let's put in my I'm gonna put my moving average. Okay, and the moving average I want to put in is a settings. I want to put a 200-day moving average because that's what I like to see. Now this is going to be off the chart because there's no 200 days. That means it's too new. So let's go 40 or 14 days. 14-day moving average. We can go 40 to make it a little bit longer. Let's see if we can get something on that. Okay, great. So it's still too early to do a lot of technical analysis, very difficult to actually see that. If you guys can see, very difficult to see that lines. If I can maybe change this visibility here to red. Okay, that might be a little bit better. Okay, so if you're looking at this, you can see that here we've got a position, obviously, that the market is still ranging, if I would say. So if the market is going up, the price is going up. If it's going down, obviously price going down. Here it's hitting the bottom, meaning it's overbought. Then it comes up a little bit. Then now it looks like it's going down, but we need it to reverse or it's going down. So for right now, because it's the moving average according to the 40 moving average, we can see that the blue line is still above the candlestick. So there's still a sell pressure happening currently. Until that goes above, it's still sell. So that's one of the pointers. The other part, what I would like to do the same thing with Bitcoin to show you guys exactly some technical analysis on it. Let's open the Bitcoin charts up and I'll be really quick with this one just to show you guys a little bit on what we do. We're just going to pick the RSI, relative strength index, and we're going to put in the moving simple moving average in. Okay, we can put 2, all right, and I'll show you why. One settings, I'm going to say inputs, we're going to make that 40. Okay, and we make the style from blue, I'll make it red. Okay, make a decline. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to say inputs. I'm going to make you 400. Okay, and the style, I want to make it green because I like green. Make it thick. Okay, here we go. All right. So what I've done is that I've just changed it up a little bit, and I know the colors are off the hook. So I want to make the colors a little bit more appealing to the eye so you can see it much better. So, example on Bitcoin right now, we can see that if you sold Bitcoin on the debt cross and you rolled it all the way down, it went here, right? And now what we can see is that when these two red and green line goes underneath the candlesticks, automatically you got something which is called a golden cross, which is a pushman or a good signal to say that there's a lot of buy pressure. Okay, the buy pressure is up. So what's happening here, you can see the red moving average, which is the 40-day moving average, is tacking underneath the red candlesticks on the daily chart. If this goes through, and as you can see, the distance between the green and the red is quite far, there's a lot of buy pressure, meaning the price is going up. As you can see on the relative strength index, the same thing, that the market is turning upwards. As you can see, we're right at the bottom, so we're looking at a curve to go back up and be overboughting it. And we're sitting at $27,000, so we're not far off, to be honest with you. Like, we're at a good point. The point is not bad at all. Let's try and go to the weekly one just to show you a little bit more, right? And on the weekly, we have the same thing happening. Um, we got the red one and we got the green one. Obviously, the green one's not even on because of the time frame that we've got it on. Okay, on the green, on this one, as you can see, the candlestick still underneath, but we're looking here that the moving average is still underneath the candlestick, so it's still a bit of a buy pressure, if I'd say. So we're still looking bullish, to be honest with you. Um, Really eager to see if we can get this nice 2021 move that happened, or 20, November, December, around that year, when things really took off. That's what we're looking to get on these. Remember, that was a weekly chart, so it's a very long time frame. So really interested in getting that to happen. That was a quick update, guys. I don't want to obviously take too much time on that. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it popping. I want to go through the news now. Bitcoin Archive has just released a video. I'm not sure if you guys can hear this. I'm gonna try and play it. So pretty much what this guy has done, yeah. This guy, what has he done? I'm gonna watch it again. It keeps stopping for some reason. I'm gonna check it out again. But I'm gonna tell you what happened here. So this guy has just sent a transaction through Twitter to someone on Twitter, and he did it just by tipping them X amount of money. Now, this is the thing you guys need to know. If you guys can tip someone using Twitter, what's the need for a bank? Do you guys think you're gonna need banks in this day and age if you can give money and pay someone for something through one platform, which is called, it's a Web3, that's what it's all about. If you can do that, why would you use a bank? Why would you have to pay fees within a bank? Why would you want to do all of that? And that's the reason why, this is the reason why you need to think about this, guys. If you're using Bitcoin or using cryptocurrency or using a Web3 app, either you're getting paid or you're paying or you're transacting within the app. Why do you need a third party? What's the need for a third party? And this is a big problem for banking sector because banks make money through fees, meaning there need to be a transaction that I send some funds to somebody or receive funds, and banks make the transaction fee between the person, and they either charge a fee or even up to some most times a percentage. If it's international, it can be percentages of the entire amount. Now if the banks are not making those fees, what do you think is happening if the bank doesn't make fees? And if they cannot make any fees, what do you think's going to be the solution to that, right? I would say that's a very negative point for the banks. That's my humble opinion, but let's see what pans out. Obviously banks are not doing too well right now, so let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so in other news, obviously we're on investing.com. There's various different websites. I use Investing, I use Coin Market Cap, I use CoinGecko, I use many different newspaper sites to gather the information what's popping up. So right now we're looking at the EU is watching your wallet, but it still beats the US for crypto. What does that mean? So, millions of American television viewers include those who watches the NBA finals will soon see a new national ad campaign run by Coinbase titled Moving America Forward. The campaign is focused to explaining crypto and instructing how it can help update the system. The ads add to the increasing pressure the company is putting on the United States Security and Exchange Commission for clarity on the digital assets. But no company can operate without a backup plan, which explains why Coinbase also secured the license in Bermuda in April to operate an offshore exchange. Now, that is okay. Well, that is what it says. However, not every crypto company has millions to spend on advertising and lobbying costs, and they are seeking escape from the US while avoiding the offshore tag. Where can they go without being watched or regulated out of existence? So the founder, as you can see, of the founder and chief executive officer of XEROF and Swiss Financial Services provide specializing in crypto assets. Um, this is, I think, this is a um, an advert, but let's keep looking. Obviously, this is one of the. Let's continue reading, all right? Because this is interesting to me. There we go. This is what I'm interested in. Okay, let's look at it right now, right? So, Europe is an alternative, but a word of warning. The alternative to the US approach is neither a full embrace of crypto nor regulatory freedom. Has plenty of rules for crypto, but it's still preferable to the uncertainty of the US. And obviously, this is from the publisher. Okay. Europe's system seems makeshift after Brexit left the continent uncertain about its economy future. Technology of all kinds, including artificial intelligence, became the focus of Parliament, and timing was ideal. The UK was mirrored in its own post-Brexit issue and has yet to solidify its position about as a crypto hub. The European did what it does, which is to regulate introduced a September 22 the market in cryptocurrency assets, which is MiCA legislation was confirmed just this year. Countries like France are already positioning themselves to welcome companies under the new regulations. MiCA isn't perfect. It took so much time to be confirmed, and it's already out of date. And there's more it could do to embrace the crypto sector. And just one example, the regulations stipulate wallet restrictions and travel rules for hosted or custodial wallets requires licensing for exchanges and wallet providers. That means they must document the names of senders and recipients who use their wallets irrepresentative of transaction size. If you want crypto assets transactions without this tracking or want to offer it to your customers, Europe is not the home for you. And Mika overview. So let's go through the Mika overview. All right. Um, Obviously, the source is Cointelegraph. Crypto assets utility token, white paper notification information, liability marketing requirements, utility and small tokens are exempt. Okay. Asset reference token, art, significant art. So, white paper authorized the incorporation, prudential government requirements, higher requirements for significant arts. E-money token. Now this one is important. Limited to e-money and credit institutions, similar prudential governance, liability requirements. As for arts, higher requirements for significant EMTs. This is massive, guys. And then NFTs. NFTs are out of scope. Large series of collections may not be. So, so NFTs are out of scope, and large series of collections may not be. That's a tough one. You know what I mean? So art or whatever falls within the parameter of NFT is not there. Then we have security tokens. So not covered by MiCA, but security regulations. Now, this one, you need to understand what can fall underneath the utility token and what can fall underneath a security token is dependent. So it's a very touchy one to think about, really, right? So let's keep reading. However, this applies to hosted or custody wallets. Non-custodial players still have room for to maneuver in Europe, which tracks with the European mindset. If you take responsibility for someone's assets, even data, you have an obligation. If you don't, then you prove less of a risk. Data, which is not data, which is one of the most valuable assets we have, has its own MiCA regulations. You know that the General Data Protection Regulations and even GDPR blind spots Web3 tech is already evolving yet. So let's go through this. Now, if you are storing data, if you don't, so if you take responsibility for someone's assets, even data, you have obligations. If you don't, then you have to prove less of, or then you prove less of a risk. So if you do not store this data, then you're not actually in an issue, to be honest with you. But unfortunately, Mika wants you to have the data. They want you to store the data. They want you to be, they literally telling you you need to know who's the sender and you need to keep all of the information, liability information, etc., from the client. So either way, by following Mika, you would need to store some data, some sort of data you'd need to have. Okay, stay safe, Web3, learn about antiviruses. No. Okay. Tracking data isn't exactly aligned with the free market for all approach that crypto has campaigned, right? But it is a step forward to making it more mainstream. And for whatever parts of Mika does not suit your fancy, Europe remains open to experimentations and has a dedicated sandbox for crypto incentives. From Switzerland, I can also say that Europe's largest financial institutions are quietly but powerfully moving into the space. Takeover from Europe's Union regulations. That's because regulatory clarity has always been preferable to obligatory, especially in a sector as novel and volatile as cryptocurrency. Straightforward professional pathway to enter and exit the crypto markets. The on and off ramp are fundamental to the healthy, profitable ecosystem. These on and off ramps anchor the robust regulatory frameworks in mature and well regarding geographics like Switzerland, offer a crypto community a reliable route to service, and a Europe expansion can help the industry access markets that may not be interested in and able to sign up for services based on in the Caribbean. Mhm. As the home of most organizations, it is the most ideal regulations. Europe is a promising setting for the future of crypto, while its regulations aren't everything they could be. They do bring clarity that no number of advertising campaigns can provide. Even though the European Union might be keeping a close eye on your crypto wallet, it's still offering a map or for navigation the stormier bear markets. So this is what they've spoken about. Really interesting stuff for me and the world and the US. Obviously, it was a lot they spoke about. Um, I think there is a lot happening currently. So uh, people are losing money, and it's dangerous, very dangerous. So let's get back into it, guys. Let's go to the next article. Here we go. Russian scrapes plans of national crypto exchange. So Russian governments have no longer planning to launch a regulated national cryptocurrency exchange, but rather wants to regulate multiple crypto trading platforms. After introducing a plan to create a national crypto exchange in November 24, Russian lawmakers have abandoned the idea, according to the State Duma member, and obviously they previously reported a local government in considering launching an unfined crypto exchange and as part of the Moscow exchange. That's really smart. Obviously, they're making an exchange. If you look at it, you got your London Stock Exchange, you've got your New York Stock Exchange, and obviously every country around the world has probably got its own local stock exchange. So the Moscow Stock Exchange should not be any different. Really interesting stuff. Japan launches digital yen pilot project after second successful proof of concept. Guys, you need to know this. If the Asian markets get into this heavily, you're going to see a lot of buy pressure happening. Why? Because they move the markets a lot more. They're a lot more volatile. They are big buyers, big spenders into the crypto space. So let's just look at it. So the Bank of Japan has released the results of a second phase of its digitalized currency CBDC's proof of concept experiment and confirmed that the CBDC pilot project launched on schedule in April. The second phase POC ran for a year and April 2022 to March 2023 and considered functions to complement the basic ledger functions tested in the first year long experiment. According to the BOJ, which is the Bank of Japan, report the second phase tested technology to implement upper limit of CBDC holdings, which is described as safeguards to ensure the stability of financial systems. In the case of sudden shift from bank accounts to CBDCs, that includes cases where the single user could a user had multiple accounts with multiple intermediaries, user convenience, and initiating the scheduling payments was also examined. So, guys, this is what you need to understand right now. This is a whole big issue that's happening currently. Because if you look at it, these guys, the world is going into CBDCs. Let's just hear me out. Hear me out for a minute here. So the world is going into CBDCs. Everybody's going to be, meaning digital banks, or the central bank digital currency, to be precise. These digital currencies are going to be controlled by the banks, like the bank is doing right now. The only different part is that they have total control over it. Meaning, well, right now they have total control over your money as well. But if they roll out their own digital currency, my problem is, or my issue is, if you are printing money like you are right now, and it's going through inflation and interest rates and all of that's happening, what's the difference if you're using a CBDC? The only thing better is obviously it's built on the blockchain, so the technology is amazing. Technology wise, they can track, they got records, they can see everything. It's transparent to everybody in the world, not just them. Everybody in the world would be able to see, move, and understand everything that's happening with the CBDC because that's what happens on the blockchain. Everything's transparent. You can see every little fact. So that makes sense. It makes total sense about that point. So I get that point, right? But if they're going to keep printing money, that still doesn't fix the money problem that's currently happening in the world. That still doesn't fix recession. That still doesn't fix all of the other issues that we have inflation, money not worth much, obviously, the price of everything going up. You guys are wondering about this whole crypto space, but solve the bank problem, guys. You all are not solving. The banks are closing left and right. The US is in recession, confirmed recession. They're making it look very subtle and all of that. But look at the dollar. The dollar's dropped. The dollar's dropped awful much. Not even a much. Awfully. It's crazy right now. Now, what do you? They just. For me, it's disaster about to happen. We've been speaking about it over and over and over again. But what is the solution to this? This CBDC is not a solution. This is gonna make things just more and more worse for everybody in the world. That's what I feel about it. Now, let's go into the next thing or the next topic, guys. I want to bring it up. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's go into this one. Okay, people. All right. So, legacy. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. If you went and saw my other live, you would have known what is happening right now. So, Ledger CEO says cryptocurrency key recovery services make self custody easier. I don't trust you, my guy. Ledger CEO, I do not trust you. Sorry, but this is dangerous right now. You're talking about something that is dangerous. So, hardware wallet firm Ledger has faced harsh criticism, very harsh, even from me, very, very harsh criticism from the cryptocurrency community after announcing its recovery service, which is an option paid feature that will eventually allow users to back up and restore their private seed phrases. Due to the concerns expressed by the security element of ledger recovery, The hardware wallet manufacturer decided to postpone the launch of its service. On May 23rd, Charles Gulmat, Chief Technology Officer at Ledger, explained in a Twitter thread that Ledger will accelerate our open sourcing roadmap to bring more variability to everything we do. Now, for me, there's the guy's tweet. He just tweeted it here. Ledger's mission is and will always be to provide our users the right tools to own their digital values securely. We decided to accelerate our open sourcing roadmap to bring more verifiably to everything we do. A thread. Now, you guys are taking the piss. That's what I would say. You are going off your head, Ledger, because this is one part of it. What about the other part of it, where the governments can seize your wallet? Why are you not mentioning that in your roadmap, that you allowed the government to have access to every single person's wallet and freeze their assets? Now, for me, I don't mind being transparent because that is the law. We can be transparent. My problem is about somebody coming into my house, not even coming into my house, but having access to my security, into my finances that I have worked for, that I have done everything possible to do so, to get that finances. That's why the banking system is so messed up. Because if you can come in and say, the bank's example, if you go to the bank and you say you want to withdraw $1 million, if you had $1 million, they would tell you no. If you tell them you want to send $10,000, they would say why, when, how, where's the documentation? You provide documentation for that. If you're receiving funds more than X amount of money, then you have to provide documentation from where the funds is coming from. Why are you getting paid those funds? All of these questions and time wasting, because either way you'll have to show them what you have in your accounts. It's they know where it's coming from, they know why it's coming to you. We it's a legitimate services. If you're doing everything legitimate, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about all of these black actors in the space. I'm talking about legitimate guys in the space. What's going on right now? Because if someone can come in and just take over what's mine, I'm not happy about it. The banks do it every day. The banks take your money and they borrow it out. So they don't actually keep all the money in the bank. Hence why the banks go under, because they borrow too much of money than what they have coming in. And eventually it comes to the point where they borrow too much of money and they go bankrupt. So that's what happens. And if people start taking out money and saying, "Hey, look, we want X, Y, and Z from the bank," because they only have a specific amount of float, you're going to go to zero. Now, this is the other point. Now, Ledger, people use Ledger, cold storage wallets, because they find it to be safer than the exchanges. Because obviously, with the whole FTX thing, people found it more safe to use Ledger. And this is the point what you need to come to and understand, that this is a dangerous place to be. I actually was a very strong believer in Ledger, but looking at these posts, looking what happening right now, I'm a bit worried about what's popping off with Ledger. So let's keep reading. Ledger CEO Pascal Guter told Cointelegraph that Ledger Recovery would launch once the company can open source the code behind the recovery portal protocol. He further stressed that the new services is optional. So, okay. Right now, the overwhelming majority of crypto users hold their funds in exchanges and software wallets, which are not secure. However, many people find managing their 24-word daunting and too complex. Ledger Recovery, which is again a completely optional, is designed for those people to make secure the self custody easier while not compromising on security. According to Guy Gupta, A goal behind Ledger Recovery is to onboard the next 100 million users to the crypto sector. Yet, to achieve this, he believes that access to secure self custody should be much easier. Well, then make a simpler, easier way then to log into your wallet. But to give your keys away, I would like to ask you this, and this is for you, the CEO of Ledger. By using your system, will you guarantee me all my money in my ledger? Meaning that if you get hacked, will you return all my money? That is the question. Will you do that? Because that's an awful lot of money you have to insure, which I doubt you're going to do that. I doubt you'll do that. But let's see. While this may be the cause, the concept behind Ledger's recovery has upset many of the company's current users. Shahar Madar, head of security products at Fireblocks, an institutional digitalized asset custody platform, told Cointelegraph that Ledger recovery goes against the core idea of Ledger's customers. That is true. But I guess Fireblocks is trying to get on board as well, right? So we should go use Fireblocks then. If it indeed allows the user to recover the full private key into a brand new device with just a form of identification, then technically it the providers wanted to collude and and imitate the process without a proper identification and authorization they could. In this case, the users is trusting the providers to follow the procedures, and there are inherent risk there, he said. I would agree with the guy, you know. To be honest with you, I agree with him. He's right what he's saying. Because by owning a ledger and paying all that money to own a ledger and buy a ledger, why would I want to give my security keys away? Why would I want to be able to? It defeats the whole purpose of that. It defeats the whole purpose of self custody. I'm not the custody anymore. That means I'm not the holder of my own crypto. Why? Because anybody can just send documentation, or not only that, the company ledger then owns those security keys, which is just the same as FTX, to be honest with you. Because I believe there is something more that says that, look, if they would like to, then they can use your money as well, like the banks have. So this is something heavy, guys. Okay, let's keep going because obviously time is of the essence. We are popping off nearly the 43-minute mark. So let's keep going. Ledger recovery may be needed. I don't think so, my friend. I don't think it's needed. Otherwise, don't call it ledger. Call it something else and launch it. Although ledger recovery has created uproar in the crypto ecosystem. Yes, you're right. This is uproar. You need to understand the words you're using. Some industry participants believe the service could be useful for onboarding new users and helping current crypto holders keep track of their seed phrases. Call it another name and do not make it part of your business model, or create a version of your platform or your system that doesn't allow that. Why does everybody needs to be put into the same bracket? If I do not like something, why should I be using? And the worst part is, when I bought it, you did not tell me that was going to be the case. I would like I would like to know if you refund me my money. I doubt it. For instance, Mother highlighted that one of the biggest challenges associated with cryptocurrency is that it's too complex for many users. Specifically, keeping track of your physical devices and free seed phrases for years is far from trivial for the average person. Every user should be able to back up their keys somewhere, he said. With this in mind, the service like ledger recovery may be ideal for some individuals. Mother added that it's a good thing about ledger recovery is that feature is optional. Users that are uncomfortable with the scenario can choose not to use the service either forever or until Ledger is able to satisfy their concerns. Well, I ain't gonna be one of those people, my friend, to be honest with you. Echoing this, Marvin Jensen, co-founder of hardware wallet provider Raider, told Cointelegraph that Ledger's recovery might appeal to mainstream customers. It absolutely happens that people, especially those new to Web3, lose access to their wallets because of the faulty or completely lack of backup. A feature like ledger recovery can therefore definitely help, he said. However, Johnson added that the remains questionable if the users would want to pay for this such a service, given to the current lack of clarity around the new feature. Users still need to understand exactly what they are signing up for and how it will help them. This guy, man. While Gathering mentioned the ledger would soon make the code behind the recovery phrase open source to help users better understand the technology. He explained that the users would subscribe to the service would prove their identity through ID verification to ensure that only they have access to their backups. Once this is approved on their ledger, the device created an encrypted backup that split into three shards using Sharm's secret sharing. Sharmer's secret sharing, he said. The three shred of the sent via secure channels to three different companies and three different jurisdictions where the secure and hardware security modules not in the cloud to restore users must go through identity verification again through two different providers, after which two shards will be sent back to your new device and decrypted on the ledger. Wow. So, what do you guys think? Please write me in the comments what you guys think about this because this is got me gobsmacked right now. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, what are you doing, Ledger? What are you doing? There's so many different ways to do this. So many different ways. Let's keep going. In other words, Ledger's recovery uses multi-party computation, the cryptographic protocol that allows multi-parties to jointly compute a function over their inputs without revealing those inputs to each other. Although these models may provide some form of security, Janssen noted that the challenge actually lies in the transport of the shards. The nature of the algorithm user by Ledger recover is such that the original secret information is recovered if enough shards are combined. Thus, an attacker might be more interested in intercepting them when they are transmitted instead of trying to attack the ledger itself, he said. In addition, Johnson explained that if all shards are transported to a custodian at the same time, then there will be a moment when they all exist together on a single device like a customer's laptop. Ledger has undoubtedly thought about this situation, so as more information becomes available, it might be clear that this isn't an issue, he said. Mixed sentiments around ledger recovery. Until more clarity around ledger recovery is revealed, there will likely be mixed feelings about the service. For instance, Margaret Rosenfeld, chief legal officer of crypto exchange Cube Exchange, told Cointelegraph that she believes that non-crypto native and many crypto users desire some recovery support that can trust that support they can trust. Complete self management and digitalized asset is not what most people want. What they desire is a non custodial solution that keeps them all of their own, that keeps them as their own, as the owner of their assets and allow them to interact with others and platforms to interact seamlessly with little effect and no additional costs, she said. I would agree with her. Smart woman. Really, really smart. Because that was the only point that I mentioned from my side that would have been more interesting. So for me, the most important part of this would have been that I don't own my own assets and I have control over it, meaning people can get access to it or other people own it or can do whatever they want with it. I just feel safe with a cold storage wallet because I feel that it's mine, not my keys, not my wallet, right? But if somebody else owns my keys, obviously, and if I'm and you talking about being vulnerable, etc., I think Ledger can lose their market cap doing this. On the flip side, security concerns will remain. John Woods, chief technology officer at Algorand Foundation, told Cointelegraph that in particular he is concerned whether it's possible for ledger custodians to collude. Ledger has said that the keys that leave the Ledger device and controversial bit are encrypted and shredded. The shredded bit is clear, but they've said that the keys are first encrypted with a semantic key. I'm asking, what is this? What is that semantic, symmetric cipher? Um, and what recommends is used to generate the key. We are still awaiting. So we have a lot of good news here, as you can see from Ledger. Really interesting news, I would say. I would I would definitely say that is interesting news. So from my side, that is definitely a interesting news. Um, but let's see what's popping off. Guys, thank you guys yet again for joining this live stream. I know I was going to try to make it a quick one, but I was here for an hour. I love to talk about crypto. I would like to talk to you guys about crypto. Please click on the link in the bio. There's a direct link to book a meeting with my team, with me at any point in time. You want to hear more about it, you want to learn about crypto. We want to educate you. We want to bring Web3 into Web2. You want to know more about what's popping off. Click on the link, like, share, subscribe, follow us. And I'm going to be doing a massive giveaway as well. So please follow us on all of our social media channels. See you guys on the next video. Follow us and show us some love. And write in the comments where you're from, which countries you guys from. And write what your thoughts are on this ledger story. Take care, guys. See you next.